Hi my lovelies, I'm Jen and this is Crifty Crafty.
Hi my lovelies, I hope you're all well. So today I'm going to show you how to create a knockout text, and this is actually a really simple technique, but it's really effective. And it basically involves slicing a image into a piece of text, but then we keep a layer of the slice so that when we come to cut, we've got two cuts which will layer on top of each other, and it's a really easy way of layering as well. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. So the first thing we need to do is get our text, and I find that using a uniform text is easier. So one of the great ones, in fact, if you look here, you can see we've got the Acme font straight away, and we're looking for text like this, so quite big, thick, very uniform text. It just makes it easier when it comes to adjusting them and making them closer together. So one of the great texts that you can use, and it's actually a preloaded system font on Windows, is the Impact font. It's a really great font to use, but I'm going to actually use the Autumn font today, and this is a downloadable free font from dafont.com. So that's the Autumn font. So I also always do it in capitals. Again, I just find it makes the letters more uniform. They're all the same size and shape. They're all, in the right line, and you don't have to do a lot of playing with them. So it's just for ease. It's a nice, easy, quick project. So I'm just going to type in my text, and I'm also going to align them. So I'm going to go to align and then center so that the dreams is in the center. And then I'm going to bring it up here and just make it bigger so that you can all see. So we've got our letter space and our line space, and we want to move our letters as close as we can together, and then our two text lines as close as we can together. So I'm just going to start reducing our letter space. Now we don't want the letters to overlap, but we do want them to be as close as they can be. So there's only a tiny little line in between them. So if I go one more down, they will overlap, and we don't want them to overlap. So we're going to go one up, and that's exactly where we want it to be, as close as it can without overlapping. So they're all exactly as they should be. So now we're going to start reducing our line space. So we've now spaced our text as close as we can. So we're going to go to upload images, and I've already uploaded a silhouette of a mermaid. You can upload any images, as we know. You can also go into images on Design Space. Really, you want to use just a single layer. So if it is a SVG or it is a multi-layered image, you want to try and reduce it down to just the base layer. So we're going to go to upload, and I've just got this mermaid here, so I'm going to insert image. I'm just going to bring her down here, and I'm going to change the color on my text. So now I'm going to get my mermaid, and I'm going to just play with her and get her exactly where I want her in terms of placement on top of the text. So I've now placed my mermaid exactly where I want her, and you'll see that she's actually covering a fair amount of our lettering, but we don't need to worry about that because that's all going to change in a second. So you do need to make sure that your image is on top of your text. So we're going to go and select both of them, and then we're going to go to slice, and you'll now see that we've got 4 layers, and it will always look like this. You'll always have your 2 top colored layers of whatever color your text was, and then you'll have your 2 black layers, so, or whatever color your image was. So we're going to change the first layer, and we're just going to change that to a green. So our 2 top layers are now 2 different colors, and then we've got our 2 bottom layers, so 1, 2, 3 and 4. So layers 3 and 4 we actually want to delete. So we're just going to go in and we're going to click and delete, and then our last layer we're going to click and delete. So then we're just left with layer 1 and layer 2, and you can see that our mermaid has now taken on the shape of our letters, which is exactly what we want. So then we're going to go and highlight again, and we're just going to group, and that's it. We've now made our knockout text, which is really effective and really easy. So I'm just going to go and size it up. So I want it at 10, and then we're going to go to make it. And because we are working with iron-on, as always, we need to mirror, especially because we're working with text. So please do make sure if you're using iron-on that you mirror. And we're going to go to continue, and then we're going to go cut out on our machine. So we've got our iron-on our mat, and as always we've done it shiny side down. Now you may notice that my mat is actually the wrong way round. If you look here you'll see that our arrow that is normally going into our machine is going away. That's because part of my mat is starting to lose its stickiness. So all I do is turn it around, and when both sides have lost their stickiness I will restick my mat, which I'll show you how to do in a tutorial. But rather than going and getting a proper mat or a restuck mat or a new mat, I want to use this as much as I can first before I then restick it. So just turn it round and it still works absolutely fine. So we're going to go ahead and start cutting. So we've now cut out our iron-on, so we're just going to start very, very gently, just pulling it back and weeding it. And I always do it like this. I just kind of get off the main bulk first, and then I go back in with my weeding tool and take out everything else. So this is now all weeded out, so we're going to go ahead and weed out the next part. So this is holographic foil, so we're just going to go ahead and gently peel this away. So I'm going to do my first layer, and then I'm going to layer the second one on top. So I'm going to use my heat press today, but I just wanted to show you that we're going to do the first layer first, and then we're going to layer the other one. So I'll show you how we line all that up in a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and put this under the heat press. So we've done our first piece, and then we're going to go ahead and layer our second piece on. Now sometimes you can find that you just put it straight on and it matches up perfectly. Other times you kind of have to play with it, and when there's lots of kind of breaks like this, I find it easier just to start cutting in between, and that gives me then more freedom to be able to match up each individual piece rather than trying to match everything up as one. Always try and do it as one first of all, but if it's kind of being a bit tricky, then we're just going to cut it into sections. So I'm going to do this section, I'm going to do this section, then I'm going to take the arm, and then I'm going to be left with this section here. So you can see that I've cut it into pieces, and I've already laid down our first two pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest. And it's pretty easy, you are literally just laying it in the recesses. So there's that piece. So there's that piece, and they've lined up really easy. Sometimes I just find it's easier to cut them up rather than trying to move it all into the smaller areas. Sometimes it doesn't bend as easy as you want it to, so it's easy just to kind of snip where you can, and it just then makes it easier to line it all up. But it is really easy to line it up once you kind of realize where your recess areas are. It's so simple. So I'm going to go ahead and heat press this layer. So we've now heat pressed our second layer. So as always, I'm just going to give it a quick scrape. It's just something that I've always done. And I'm just going to very, very gently peel back each section. And they've overlapped slightly, but that's fine because it's only on the tape, not on the actual vinyl. Please make sure that if you do cut it into pieces, that when it overlaps, it's only overlapping on the heat bit, not actually on your iron-on. So here's our finished project, my lovelies. So that is knockout weeding. Knockout text. Got weeding on the brain. The reason I've got weeding on the brain is I forgot to weed out my R. We all have those moments, but actually I still think it looks pretty cool. It doesn't miss not having the middle of the R out. Look, it's for a 3-year-old. She's really not going to notice. I will notice. But actually it doesn't bug me. Normally it would bug me, but actually I think it looks quite cool. I think it kind of adds to that block effect. But anyway, so that is knockout text. As I say, it's really simple. It's really effective. I just think it's a lovely effect as well. So give it a shot and see how you get on with it. I'd love to see some of your examples of knockout text, just because there's so much that you can do with it, and I'd like to see what you can all do as well. So as always, thank you all so much for watching. Please do like, subscribe and comment below, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye! Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'll see you all next time. Please do subscribe, like and comment below. Bye!